Ask yourself, where are your boundaries leaking? Where are things dragging your energy levels down? And where could you shore those up in order to maintain that energy for yourself in order to make more money? Welcome to Profit and Prosper, a podcast for entrepreneurs who are ready to make some money while doing what they love. On this podcast, we're going to pull back the curtain and talk about all things business and money, but I promise you this is not your typical boring numbers talk. I'm your host, Sarah Young, a CPA and CFO with over a decade of experience in finance, business, and leadership. I'm going to share everything I've learned from helping my clients grow more profitable businesses and keep more of what they earn while growing my own successful business along the way. You'll feel empowered and confident that you too can grow your wealth, live a rich life, and have an impact. Stick with me and you might even start to think that finance is fun. Let's dive in. What's up, y'all? Welcome to episode 56 of the Profit and Prosper podcast. Today, we're going to talk about how to troubleshoot if you are not making enough money in your business to be able to pay yourself the salary that you want. This is something that comes up basically with every single client that we have because I find that on the whole, most people are not paying themselves the salary that they want. A couple episodes ago, I think episode 54, I talked about different business models and different numbers that would allow you to pay yourself a $50K salary, a $100K, or a $300K salary. And then when we released that episode, I did a poll on my Instagram. I had dozens of people respond. I was kind of surprised by the results. I shouldn't have been. But the results were like 80 something percent, 85% of everybody who responded said they wanted to be able to pay themselves a $300,000 salary. And I was surprised because I thought more people would click on the 100K salary. But as it turns out, everybody wants to be able to pay themselves a high salary, which is totally fair. And so that just tells me I have work to do because I know for a fact that all of you listening, not all of you, but many of you listening who want to pay yourself multi six-figure salary as your goal in your business, you're not there. And you're not likely paying yourself a six-figure salary. You're not likely even paying yourself a $50,000 salary. So we need to troubleshoot, how can you pay yourself more money in your business? And how do you know what thing you need to actually change in order to pay yourself more? So we're going to talk through 3 different areas that I would help you troubleshoot. If you are my client, these are things that we work on with all of our clients, whether they're making, $5,000 a month in sales up to $100,000 a month in sales. These are all the same sorts of questions I'm going to ask. So we're going to look at whether you have a sales or a profit problem as troubleshooting area number 1. We're going to look at your boundaries and we're going to look at your mindset. So let's dive into each of these. So the first thing is I want to look at, do you have a sales problem or a profit problem? Because when you're not making enough money in your business, what do you default to thinking the problem is? Most people default to thinking the problem is sales. I need to go sell more clients. I need to invest in this marketing strategy. They think there's some, magical business strategy that is suddenly going to bring tons of income in and it's going to solve all their problems and it's going to allow themselves to finally be able to pay themselves, that $300K salary. And sometimes you do have a sales problem, but not always. Before you go out and sell more stuff, we need to make sure that you have a profitable business model. I'm going to ask a couple of questions. Number 1, what are you spending most of your time on? If you are spending most of your time doing client work, you're constantly, you have a lot of workload, you have a ton on your to-do list, so much so that it's difficult for you to be able to spend time doing anything else, that to me is a profit problem. And the reason that that is a profit problem is because you should have enough cash flow from the offers that you're selling, if they're profitable, and if your delivery systems are profitable, you should have enough cash flow to be able to either, 1, not have to work all the time. Like you should be able to have a number of clients that you can serve in, let's say, 10, 15, 20 hours a week, and then have time left over to do sales, marketing, CEO activities, right? Or you should have enough cash flow from those offers to be able to outsource or delegate to someone to help you deliver all of those offers so that you yourself don't have to spend all of your time doing client work. So if you're spending all your time doing client work and you're still not able to pay yourself enough, you have a profit problem. Now, on the other hand, you have a sales problem if you are not making sales consistently, if you don't have a consistent sales pipeline. So I'm not here to teach you how to market and how to make sales. However, one of the things that I do talk to clients about is their sales pipeline. So as we think about sales goals, as we're doing forecasts for the year, as we're talking about like what numbers do you need to hit, inevitably, like your sales target is going to be higher than the sales you're making now. And we need to make sure that if you have a sales gap, or when you have a sales gap, I mean, everybody's going to have a sales gap. By sales gap, I just mean how much do you need to make in new sales in order to meet your target? Everybody has one. I have one, right? Like I honestly can't think of a client who has never had a goal of making new sales. You need to have a pipeline coming in consistently to be able to close that sales gap somewhat reliably. And when we think about your sales pipeline, if you don't have that full, meaning you're not doing the activities at the top of funnel to bring people into your orbit, you're not doing the middle of funnel sort of nurture activities to get people to know, like, and trust you, to get them in the door, inviting them to get on a sales call with you or whatever your sales mechanism is. And if you're not having sales calls or you don't have people going to your sales page, like if you don't have people coming through as leads to be able to close, then that is a sales problem. But before we go out and just automatically assume you have a sales problem, like I said, we need to make sure that you don't also have a profit problem. Because if you go out and make a ton of sales, but your sales are not profitable, then you are not going to be able to pay yourself a salary because it's going to be eaten up. Your cash flow will be eaten up fast as it comes in the door. So ask yourself, really, what is your problem right now? And then I want you to think back. So episode 54, if you haven't listened to it, go listen to some of the numbers I talked about with those different business models. I want you to sit down and really do some math, even if it's like quick back of the napkin math. How much sales do you need to have coming in to be able to even pay yourself the salary that you want? So if your goal is to pay yourself a $300,000 salary, the answer isn't that you have to have $300,000 in sales. The answer is you're probably going to have at least 3 to 4 times that coming in sales in order to be able to pay yourself that salary at that level. So how much sales do you need to have for the salary that you want? And your life will be so much easier if your offer is profitable. So like I said, before you go sell more, make sure your business model is profitable. In episode 50, I talked about how to design profitable offers. So when you deliver on whatever it is that you sold, do you have enough money left to pay all your bills and be able to pay you a salary? Do you have enough energy and time left after you do the thing, after you deliver your client work or whatever you're doing? Do you have enough time and energy left to do other things, whether that's sales, marketing, and CEO activities, or just sleeping and exercising, cooking dinner, cleaning your house, doing whatever, having fun, hanging out with your family? Do you have time and energy left? Because if you don't, then I would say that offer is not profitable. I went more in depth in this in episode 50, but one of the key things you have to consider is the cost of your time and your energy in delivering your offer. Because a lot of us, as the CEO of the business, when we make a sale, we view that sale, let's say it's a $5,000 sale, we view that as straight cash flow if we are the ones doing most of the work. But you forget to factor in your time and your energy cost and the opportunity cost of what else you could be doing with your time if you didn't have to deliver that offer. So the reality is that delivering for your clients is costing you time and energy that could be spent elsewhere. Okay. Are you ready to create a profitable business and use that cash flow as a fire starter for building your wealth? Since you're listening to my podcast, I'm guessing that you probably do, but maybe you aren't sure exactly how this would work for your business or if it's even possible for you. But listen, I am here to tell you that it is possible because I have worked with so many women business owners who have done exactly that. You can pay yourself a 6-figure CEO salary and get yourself out of the feast or famine cycle where you're worrying about cash flow all the time. You can create a profitable business model that allows you to outsource and delegate so you can take time off from your business while still growing to the next level. And you can use that cash flow to start building a 7-figure portfolio of retirement, real estate, or whatever else you're interested in. If you're an established online or service-based business owner who'd like some hands-on CFO support to increase your profit margins, build your business to the next level, and grow your net worth using that extra cash flow, then the Millionaire CEO Incubator is exactly for you. The Millionaire CEO Incubator is my signature 6-month group coaching and done with you hybrid program to help you map out and implement a plan to turn 6-figure cash flow into 7-figure wealth. We take on a handful of new clients each month by application. So if you're ready to change your money story, go to profitandprosper.co/apply or the link in the show notes and fill out the quick application. It should take no more than 2 minutes and we'll be in touch. Now let's get back to the episode. I want to quickly address when we think about having a profit problem is expenses that you're carrying. So I won't go into like great detail with this, but obviously if you are overspending on stuff in your business, then that is money that you are not able to pay yourself. So when I think about expenses, I really like to think about them in 2 different buckets. Bucket number 1 is overhead, ongoing overhead expense. We want to make sure that we optimize our ongoing overhead so that we make sure we're not overspending on payroll or marketing or office costs or things that you don't actually need to deliver your offers. And then the other bucket would be investments. So one-time investments you're making to level up an area of your business to take advantage of an opportunity. Obviously, those are really crucial, but you need to make sure when you're making those investments that you're not just throwing money out the door, looking for that ever elusive, perfect business marketing strategy that's suddenly going to solve all your problems. Because if you're overspending on these things, then you're not going to be able to pay yourself a regular salary. Okay. So that was number 1. That's probably like the biggest piece of the overall puzzle is, do you have a sales problem or do you have a profit problem? Solve your profit problem before you go out and make more sales. But we need both to create consistent cash flow that enables you to grow your business and be able to pay yourself a higher salary. Area number 2 that I want to troubleshoot is around your boundaries. So what I find is that when people are not able to pay themselves a consistent salary, they tend to be inclined to do whatever comes their way. And they think, if I don't do whatever comes my way, I'm never going to make enough money. I have to do whatever this person wants, whether they're my ideal client or not, whether the offer is what I want to deliver or not, whether I have the time, right, to do whatever they want me to do. When you are feeling like you have tight cash flow, it can be really easy to think, I'll take whatever I can get. And if I don't do what they want me to do, then we go into this spiral of they're going to hate me. They're never going to buy from me again. I'll never make money, and my business is going to fail. This is a really common spiral. I go through it too. I have to remember to catch myself and remind myself that's not true, right? So that's area number 3 is money mindset. So we'll come back to that in a second. So I think in the long run, it is really, really crucial to have a sustainable, profitable business that you maintain boundaries around what you offer, who you work with, what you charge, what you do or you don't do in terms of deliverables, the hours that you work, when you take calls, when you have meetings, right? All of these things are really crucial. If you do not maintain boundaries around those areas, then you are going to have a business. Maybe your business will produce cash flow, but it's going to suck away all of your energy. So counterintuitively, by holding boundaries and by focusing on doing a certain set of things really well for a certain group of people, for a certain type of client, you are very much more likely going to be able to scale your business faster, to be able to hire and train a team faster, to be able to charge higher prices and make a better profit. So we need to make sure that you are holding those boundaries if you want to be able to pay yourself more money. So in the short term, right, if your cash flow is tight, if you're like, I just need money to pay the rent for this month, I hear that. And so in the short term, maybe you do take whatever you can get as just a short-term solution. But as you're thinking about designing a business that is profitable, we need to make sure that you are figuring out what are those boundaries that you need to have so that you can maintain those boundaries over time. And this takes a lot of practice. I really truly think that this boundaries conversation is also highly, highly correlated to the conversation around having profitable offers. So, the next thing I want you to do if you want to make more money in your business, counterintuitively, I know it's counterintuitive to say put up boundaries around you and what you do and when you do it in order to make more money. But it's true. Ask yourself, where are your boundaries leaking? Where are things dragging your energy levels down? And where could you shore those up in order to maintain that energy for yourself in order to make more money? I think that it's related to the offer conversation because I think the way to create more profitable offers is going to be putting boundaries around what you do and how you do it and who your client is. So, like I said, in the short term, if you need to just take on sales just to pay the bills, I totally hear you. But how can you carve some time out? How can you look at what you're spending time on that's not producing revenue or it's not producing profit for you? Stop doing some of those things and then reset to your offers, reset your calendar, reset the things that you do in order to put those boundaries in place and then come out with a highly profitable offer that is more scalable. I think to do this, one of the best pieces of advice is going to be specializing or niching down. So I have a whole episode about that. I believe it was episode 49. I had Natalie Ekdahl come on. She's a business coach, and we talked about the power of specializing and niching in your business. This goes hand in hand with maintaining boundaries. So I have this happen all the time. We have in my, done for you side of my business, we really specialize into service-based businesses, specifically B2B services, so agencies, consultants, that type of business model. And then we have like sort of three niches, I would say. Personal services, meaning where people have a service like chiropractors, massage places, beauty places, right? They have a team of people in a physical location doing a service for them. That would be number two. And then number three is we've got some home services also in our roster. And so I don't want to take more people on outside of those services in our CFO area because it's outside of my boundary. And if we add on a fourth or a fifth niche, then that just means my team has yet another thing that they're going to have to learn how to do. Their time is going to be that much more inefficient, right? And we're not going to be able to charge as much as we want to because if we try to be a generalist and serve everybody, we can't niche into those specific areas and really be experts in those areas. So hold your boundaries. If you want to pay yourself more, you need to implement and maintain boundaries as counterintuitive as it is around offers, around where you spend your time, around what your team is doing, around who you take meetings with and when and where, right? Boundaries. The last piece is your money mindset. So if you're not able to pay yourself what you want, I'm going to bet that there is a money mindset issue at play. So you might have mindset issues coming up around the way you structure your offers and your pricing, right? If you don't believe that you can charge a high price for what you do, you're not going to charge a high price and your offer will not be as profitable as it could be. You might have money mindset issues coming up around those boundaries. If I don't do what this person wants me to do, then they're going to hate me and they're never going to buy from me and no one will buy from me and my business will fail, right? How many times have you thought that to yourself, or is it just me? I know it's not just me. Your money mindset impacts literally everything that you do in your business on a daily, hourly, minute by minute basis. Literally, I firmly believe like the longer I'm in business, the more I understand how powerful my mindset is to my success in business. And I'm really a proponent of the thought model. I'm like blanking on the official name. It's something that Brooke Castillo teaches in the Life Coach School. Whether you like the Life Coach School or not, I think the model is incredibly helpful. And I highly recommend her podcast to anybody, the Life Coach School podcast. Whether you want to be a life coach or not, I think it's super valuable. But basically, the model is that you have thoughts in your mind that cause feelings, and those feelings, the way that you feel in your body, causes you to do or not to do certain things. It causes your actions. And then the results that you get are a direct cause of those actions. And those results oftentimes feed back into whatever thought you were having in the first place to reinforce the thought you were having. So, for example, with your mindset, if you're sitting here thinking, I don't deserve to charge much, I can't, I'm not providing anything that's worth charging a really high ticket price. I can't take this money from my clients. It's actually like three thoughts or four. The feeling that you're going to have when you send out that proposal is going to be something along the lines of, oh my God, like I better, or the feeling is going to be anxiety or shame or something along those lines, some sort of negative emotion. And when you're trying to make sales and do marketing from a place of that negative emotion, of shame or of overwhelm, of anxiety, of stress, like you're not going to show up. You're not going to show up as the best version of yourself. You're not going to have the energy that you need. And then what happens when you show up from that place? You don't make the sale, or you only bring in clients who want to pay, really low prices. And then that reinforces the result. The financial result that you get from that is not as good. And so that reinforces this like shame spiral of I'm not worth charging high ticket prices. Look who's working with me. Look at the offers I'm selling. I can't sell a high ticket price. Versus if you have the mindset of, hey, I'll give this a try. Why not? Like what's the worst thing that could happen if you put out a high ticket price and someone says no? They say no, that's the worst thing that happens, right? So if you come at it from a place of like, maybe this is possible for me, let me give it a try. Maybe your feeling is less negative. Maybe your feeling's more neutral. It's calm, or maybe you're feeling confident. Imagine how different you show up when you're feeling calm and confident versus feeling full of shame and anxiety and stress. How different do you show up on sales calls, right? How different is your energy when you do an Instagram live or whatever? And then you end up getting different results because your underlying thought is different. When it comes to money stuff, money is something that really causes a lot of thoughts for people because we all have some sort of story that we tell ourselves around money, right? We all have things that happened to us when we were little around money, whether we had a lot, whether we didn't have enough, whether people told you you weren't going to be good at money, so you shouldn't deal with it. Any of those things can impact the way that you show up, and none of those things have to be true. Money really is an unlimited resource, and you could bring on enough customers in the next year, in the next 3 months even, to exceed all of the revenue goals that you have, and you would still barely crack the market of total customers that are out there in the United States or in the world. There's so many potential clients out there. So when you're thinking about creating offers that are profitable, maintaining boundaries in your business, and you're thinking, well, who's going to buy from me? Do you understand that there are like 8 billion people in the world? So tell this money mindset it needs to go somewhere else, okay? Cultivating a mindset practice, for me, it tends to be journaling a lot when I feel these things come up, just writing down whatever's going through my head, asking myself if this is actually a true thought or if there's a way that I can reframe it. That always helps me. For some of you, maybe it's going to therapy. For some of you, maybe it is getting coaching around your money mindset or something along those lines, right? But we have to understand that if you don't manage your mindset, if you're not active about it, even if it's only like 30% managed, you don't have to have a perfect mind where you never have negative thoughts or feelings around money because that's never going to happen in reality. Even if it's only a portion managed, you're still going to be so much farther ahead than people who don't even manage their mindset even a little bit. All right, y'all. So to summarize, if you are not making enough money, if you're not making enough income in your business to pay yourself what you want, I want you to look at these 3 areas. Number 1, do you have a sales problem or do you have a profit problem? Solve your profit problem before you go out and sell more. That's number 1. Number 2, do you have leaky boundaries around your offers, around who you work with, around your calendar that's draining your time, it's draining your energy and preventing you from working on things that are profitable? So that's number 2. Number 3, are you managing your mindset? Is your mindset dragging you down? Can you spend even just a little bit of time daily, a couple times a week, really sitting down and asking yourself, what is even going on? Just becoming aware of your mindset. I think that's a great next step to take. So that is all I've got for you today. Hopefully this was helpful to help you troubleshoot how to pay yourself more money. And if you feel like you need support with this, if you are making somewhat consistent sales in your business, I'd say 4,000, 5,000 to, 10 to 15K a month or up in sales, and you feel like, I don't know how to manage my money. I don't have the skills to be able to pay myself more. And I don't know how to work through, this troubleshooting of what do I need to do next to be able to make more money? Then come and apply for the Millionaire CEO Incubator, which is my 6-month done with you CFO support and profit strategy program where I will teach you those millionaire CEO money skills. We will give you support as you troubleshoot. How do you grow your business? How do you hire a team? How do you pay yourself more by implementing a profitable business model so that you can, take your business to the next level so that you can pay yourself that CEO salary. So go to millionaireceo.co/apply to apply. If you would like to get started in that, I would obviously love to have you. And if you have any questions about, as you're thinking about troubleshooting in your own business, feel free, send me a DM on Instagram at It's Sarah Young. I would love to hear if you have any feedback from this episode, and I'll see you next week. Thanks for listening to this week's episode. Now, I want you to go take some action. What's one thing you can do this week to create more profit in your business? Send me a DM on Instagram at YoungCoCFO and share your action item with me. If you have a question or topic you'd like me to dive into, or if you're feeling empowered about taking charge of your finances, let's continue the conversation. Go to profitandprosper.co to submit a question or topic for me to talk about on the show. And because we all profit and prosper better with friends, please leave me a review on Apple Podcasts, subscribe wherever you listen, and share the episode. Make sure you tag me at YoungCoCFO on Instagram so I can give you some love, and I'll see you in the next episode.